Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today I'm just going to react to a very short video. It's called Why Gamers Hate Mass Effect Andromeda. It's around 4 days old by now. Um, Mass Effect Andromeda. Here's the thing about Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect. Mass Effect is one of my favorite space franchise, sci-fi even better in my opinion. It's better than Star Wars, it's better than Star Trek. It's kind of like a mixture between them all. Like, I love the world, the universe I should say, about Mass Effect. Not just the story. The stories from BioWare at this time was phenomenal, like phenomenal what happened. But Mass Effect Andromeda, when they first announced it, I was like, yes, another Mass Effect game. Wow. Like that crazy. And the trailer is actually really good. I actually watched the trailer before I saw this. I was like, man, the trailer is actually really well. I no wonder why I was became so hyped when I saw the trailer. And I had when then the launch happened, and yeah, let's just say it was kind of like it was, how should I say it, the cyberpunk of its time. It was a really big disaster and a disappointment for us Mass Effect fans and that sort of thing. uh, I'm also doing a lot 100% playthrough, or yeah, playthrough with Mass Effect and Dragon Age Inquisition. That's why I'm going to kind of like compare them a lot, because Dragon Age Inquisition came out maybe a couple of 4 years before Mass Effect Andromeda. Uh, and Dragon Age Inquisition is also, I love the Dragon Age as well, the stories and all that, yada yada yada. But it was such a, I actually did a 100% playthrough, as I said, with Dragon Age Inquisition before I started with my Mass Effect Andromeda a couple of days ago, and it was such. What happened? BioWare, BioWare. Oh my god! I mean, the next Mass Effect, and especially the next Dragon Age Dreadwolf. I am so worried. I hope we are going to see something from them this 8th of June, I think it is, when the Summer Game Festival is going to launch. I haven't seen BioWare on the list, but I have seen EA going to participate in it. And I hope we're going to see something about Red Wolf. I don't want to see another teaser trailer, like a 10 seconds voice narration by Varric or Solas about the next Dragon Age agent. Like, no, I want a trailer. I want a trailer. It's been far. I have been patient right now as a Dragon Age fan. Bioware, it's time. It's freaking time. Even though all of that leaks that happened a month ago or something like that. Yes, I'm sorry for you, but you only have yourself to blame in these sort of cases. You have been spending like what, almost a decade right now with that game. I'm not gonna pull. I'm not gonna go into it for too deep. Mass Effect Andromeda. Oh boy, this is kind of like the people have either claimed Dragon Age Inquisition or especially Mass Effect Andromeda to be Bioware's last, how should we say it, stand of glory in sort of way. Yeah, I can definitely see it. Like, especially the storytelling. The storytelling is terrible in Mass Effect Andromeda. If you look at the development of the game, especially from the beginning, it actually looks. I mean, when you read it, like wow, you guys were way ahead of your time. Like exploring entire planet, star system, driving your ship, and that sort of thing. Like, what happened? What happened? Like, what the hell happened? And we all know EA, and the devs for, or the Bioware I should say, want, I think they wanted the Mass Effect Andromeda to be played on the Unreal Engine, which is a superior in-game engine. Like, I don't understand why EA is so fucking dumb to say no, all our games is going to use the Frostbite engine. Are you hearing yourself? The Frostbite engine? Here's the thing. The Frostbite engine is okay. Like, it can create some really beautiful scenery and world and maps like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 5, not Battlefield 2042, but Dragon Age, and yeah, even Mass Effect Andromeda. It can create some beautiful scenery, but it is an unstable engine. And so far that I've heard, it's a very um, complicated engine to work with compared to the Unreal Engine. And now when we have Unreal Engine 5, which, I mean, have you seen the games and the demos people have done with the Unreal Engine 5? Like, you people, EA, you must be retarded if you think Frostbite Engine is going to outmatch that. And even the Creation Engine, I think it is for Starfield. I might be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, because the Unreal, I say, the Creation Engine is not really as good, I should say, as either Frostbite or the Unreal Engine. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they have in store for the next Mass Effect and that sort of thing. But yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda. Yeah, I was disappointed. I really was disappointed. And also, before I start this, when I started up Mass Effect Andromeda on my beast of computer with 3090 Ti and all that shit, all that water pump, for some reason, the moment I launched Mass Effect Andromeda, my CPU is just skyrocketing in heat, like above 90. I was like, what is happening? Like, I'm launching Dragon Age Inquisition, no problem. Hogwarts Legacy, max settings, even ray tracing, no problem. Red Dead Redemption 2, no problem, nothing. But Mass Effect Andromeda, for some reason, my CPU usage is just completely screwed for some reason. I've tried everything. I tried to look for help. I even ask for help. And people are like, dude, there's something wrong with this game. Do not play it if you don't have a beast of computer. I even tested it on my old computer, my old graphic card and motherboard from 2017. Even them are like, no, we can't take this anymore. Like, they want to kill themselves. Like, what the hell is happening with this game? Is this just me? Anyway, let's see this video. It's made by Big Dan Gaming, if I'm correct right now. Never heard about him, but still, it's gonna be interesting to see. I always keep holding my headphones into the mic, like, do you hear me? Do you hear me? So this is going to be interesting. What can I expect? Mostly the story. The story for Mass Effect Andromeda is terrible, especially the enemies. The enemies are such a bad one. The cats are so boring compared to the Reapers, and in my honest opinion, they could just drop any kind of villain. And honestly, the game, it doesn't need an enemy, it doesn't need a villain. Exploration, planetary exploration, star system exploration, building outposts, gathering resources, scanning faunas, alien faunas and animal aliens. Like, oh my god, like, I mean, just like which I'm possibly thinking Starfield is going to be like, or if that, what was it called now again? No Man's Sky. Like, I think it was supposed to be a No Man's Sky kind of game, but EA was just throwing things in there like, no, it need to be that and this. Yeah. Yep. I think that the best possible outcome was to just remove the cat, remove the villains, just focus on exploration. Oh my god, how hard is it? Money, but this game didn't. I don't think it. Just look into the Nordic. Don't fall into the trap. So here we go.
My face is tired. Mass Effect Andromeda has a subpar reputation, to say the least. And while some players enjoy the game, it definitely didn't create the lasting fan base in the same way the original trilogy did. In this video, we're going to explore why people hate Mass Effect Andromeda.
I wouldn't say that I hate Mass Effect Andromeda. It's more like I'm disappointing, like massively disappointed. It's still a really good game, as he said. The combat is actually really fun. Like, yeah, as I said, gameplay and combat and exploration. Those are the most best part of this game. The rest sucks.
So buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and let's go galaxy hopping. There are a number of reasons that Mass Effect Andromeda got eviscerated by fans. Like Jay-Z, BioWare had 99 problems when it came to developing a sequel to the original trilogy. But the biggest issues with Andromeda are poor animations, particularly facial expressions,
Yeah,
the awful
definitely.
technical state the game.
Yeah, the facial animation, I think they had handed all of that over to some sort of AI at the time. Like, why just do like what you did with Star Wars: The Old Republic, which have, even today when I play Mass Effect Andromeda, Star Wars: The Old Republic has a million light years ahead when it comes to facial animation and body language than Mass Effect Andromeda. It's completely shit even today.
Launched in lackluster writing and open world environments filled with uninspired content. One of the most
Yeah, the worlds are unfortunately, they are big, but they are very empty here and there. Like, if they just focus on exploration, research gathering, and scientifically research, it will be so much better. I mean, I can walk around in No Man's Sky and just every single corner I am just finding new things to discover and even name them and all that sort of thing. Like, oh my god, imagine No Man's Sky currently today, not at launch, but Mass Effect. Oh my god, that would be so cool.
prominent criticisms of Mass Effect Andromeda was its subpar facial animations and character models. Many players found the character animations to be awkward, with unnatural facial expressions and strange body movements, which led to a lack of emotional connection with the characters. This led to a number of memes clowning on the game, the most memorable of which is the "my face is tired" conversation.
All right,
God,
what
love
happened?
the reviews on this
who?
game.
To whom? And your goddamn
Goddamn
father.
father.
Sorry,
Sorry.
my face is tired from dealing with everything.
And the hits just kept on coming. But what went so wrong here? Why were the facial animations
God, it's so weird what they did with Sarah Ryder. The facial animation for her at launch, I must say, it was completely disastrous. Like, the male riders was, it had its, occasionally bad animation, but Sarah Ryder, the female default, even the customizable female, was absolutely trash. I don't know if he's going to go into it, but the character creation, what happened? Like, seriously, BioWare. Dragon Age Inquisition, with its character customization, was amazing. Here's a picture of my Inquisitor Trevelyan, a female mage. Granted, there's just one mod, and that's a hair mod, but still the facial creation I could do compared to my rider right now, as you can see. What happened? Like, the character customization is trash. Like, it's such a, I can throw so much hate at BioWare for just the character customization. It was so trash.
so bad? The original Mass Effect trilogy was head and shoulders above its contemporaries in terms of realistic facial animations. So how did BioWare take such a huge step backwards in this department? Well, it had to do with some new experimental technology they were working with to auto-generate facial animations without the direct intervention of an animator in every single scene. BioWare utilized a new facial animation system that aimed to generate more realistic and expressive facial performances. However, the implementation of this technology may have resulted in some animations appearing awkward, unnatural, or inappropriate to the scene. Is this how you'd really expect to look?
Cringe
if
me
you
to
learned your father
this
was
day.
Dead?
Oh my
After
god.
fan backlash against Mass Effect Andromeda, Jonathan Cooper, a former BioWare developer, took to Twitter to explain some of the technical challenges the team faced when trying to implement this new technology. One of the big issues was the sheer amount of animation work that needed to be made as AAA games grew in size and scope. In Mass Effect 1, we had over 8 hours of facial performance. In Horizon Zero Dawn, they had around 15. Player expectations have only
Bullshit. Star Wars The Old Republic. Still, a game that was launched, I think it was like 5 years prior to Mass Effect Andromeda, and it has better facial animation than Mass Effect Andromeda in 2017. The Witcher 3, oh my god. 2016 or 15, I think it was. How can you say something like this? And even Dragon Age Inquisition has a better facial animation, body language than this game has. Why not just borrowing whatever Dragon Age Inquisition did to Mass Effect?
grown. Basically, BioWare ran out of time during development and couldn't adequately polish up
Yeah, but you had a long time to develop this game apparently.
all the animations before release. There have been numerous articles and exposés covering the troubled development of Andromeda, and while this knowledge gives us more context as to what went wrong with the game, at the end of the day it doesn't matter to the player. We want a finished and polished product. We don't really care what the technical challenges and limitations.
I think it was like $70 at launch, 80 if you were pre-ordering it. Excuse me. But yeah, if I'm going to pay a $70 game, it better have like near zero bugs, glitches, and have a freaking good gameplay and a really good story and really likable characters. Like Hogwarts Legacy, for example. If you're going to take a current year example.
Are, or how hard game development is. That's not our problem to solve. So while I sympathize with the devs who worked on the game, at the end of the day, Mass Effect Andromeda just wasn't as good as the original trilogy. But facial animations weren't the only issue with Andromeda. The game was barely in a playable state at launch, with numerous bugs and glitches making up hours of compilation videos. Andromeda was in such a poor state at launch that it even got on the radar of PewDiePie, who at the time was the biggest content creator on YouTube by a country mile.
This is how you talk. Don't you know? I used to love Mass Effect. It's the best, one of my favorite games ever. It was so good. I have like 200 hours.
Man, he had some less wrinkles back then.
Where did it go wrong?
And
BioWare
now he's a father.
Months after launch fixing bugs and glitches, but the damage was already done. Poor critical reviews and lackluster sales figures led to EA canceling the planned DLC and all future updates to the game. This essentially put the Mass Effect franchise on ice for several years until the reveal of a new Mass Effect project at the Game Awards in 2020. Today, the technical issues are not nearly as prominent, and the game is in a relatively polished state, all things considered. But even with all the bugs removed and fixed, there are still other issues with the game that make it not as good as the original trilogy. Which brings me to writing. The writing in Mass Effect Andromeda was criticized for its inconsistency, weak dialogue, and poorly executed character development. Some players felt that the game lacked the depth and complexity of its predecessors, with less compelling story.
Yeah, like the only real cool thing about Mass Effect story, not only that you are pioneers going to Andromeda with arcs and start a new life, the remnants, like it's like in the Meridian, like they focus so much on the cat and the Angarians in the game, in the story, too much in my opinion. The remnants, I want to explore their kind of technology. What can they do? More about them, but the moment I do, it's so little. So yeah, the remnants, like more of them rather than the Angarians, because honestly the Angarians are really bad species. Like, yeah, I was just, is this the new species? Is this the best you can do? It looks really, really generic. And of course the cat. extremely generic in my opinion. I was like, they don't look unique. They don't have something like the Turians. The Turians look so fucking cool, and even the Prothean looks cool.
Storylines and less memorable characters. Let's start with the big bad. Compared to Saren, the Elusive Man, and the Reapers, the Archon and the Ket simply don't measure up as compelling villains. Saren and the Elusive Man had complex motives. Saren sought to prevent the destruction of advanced organic life by creating an alliance with the Reapers. The Elusive Man sought to advance humanity by gaining control of the Reapers. Both of them were also potentially indoctrinated by the Reapers, which gave an added layer of complexity to...
Yeah, like Saren wanted to... he wanted the Milky Way civilization to just accept their fate and just do whatever the Reapers wanted, and potentially being kind of like have some few in the civilization to kind of like become their slaves. Like he kind of like had an insight that this is the only way for this Milky Way civilizations and species and all that sort of thing to survive. That's why he went so fanatical to make sure do the Reaper's best biddings and that sort of thing. And of course, Mass Effect 2, we have the Collectors, which were just such a cool reveal here and there. And then Mass Effect 3, we finally gets a confrontation with the Reapers.
To why they did what they did. But in Mass Effect Andromeda, the Archon seems to just seek power and control. Everything he does
So
is framed
boring.
with the context of increasing his power. Compared to the original trilogy, this is incredibly boring and one-dimensional. Another great example of poor writing is the death of Alec Ryder at the beginning.
Yeah, even when I started the game, I was like, God, did they say like 3-4 minutes, and you just sacrifice like here's recycle, just hand over the helmet to your son or daughter, let them take a really big breath, move over to yourself and do that, like cycling your breathing. Divers do that, and I think I can hold my breath for at least above 1 minute. And also you are like a special trained N7, you should be able to hold your breath real long.
Beginning of the game. His death is what thrusts the main character into the role of Pathfinder, but the whole scenario is incredibly contrived. After landing on the planet of Habitat 7, weathering its unstable atmosphere and activating an alien artifact, Alec and his child are thrown back in an explosion. Your character's helmet is broken, and your death is imminent due to the lack of oxygen in the environment. But instead of sharing a helmet and alternating breaths, your father just gives you his helmet and dies. A pointless and needless death whose only purpose was making your character the Pathfinder. But the biggest reason Mass Effect Andromeda didn't resonate with me is the lack of significant player choices you can make in the story.
Oh yeah, one of the big choices in the game, like when you're going to establish your first outpost, you're going to establish a research outpost or military. When they give you the opinion, like you what is better for each reason, but and when you the only, how should I say it, the only consequence, like for example, if you take the military outpost, you're gonna have a little bit of different dialogues with the Angarians. That's it. Like, what? Huh? So yeah, there's no such thing as consequences in this game compared to the previous Mass Effects.
Mass Effect was always a franchise about making big story decisions with galaxy-shaking consequences that sometimes even had ripple effects in the sequels. But while Ryder can make some decisions in Mass Effect Andromeda, most of them don't make a huge difference in the narrative. In hunting the Archon, you need to choose whether to save the Krogan Scouts or the Solarian Pathfinder. If you save the Scouts, then the Pathfinder dies,
as I remember,
and she is replaced with another Solarian NPC. Director Tan expresses disappointment at your choice, but then moves on. If you instead save the Solarian Pathfinder, then the Scouts die, and and Drac is mad at you for a while, but he eventually gets over it. In the end, the game is the same regardless of which outcome you choose. Compare this with your confrontation with Rex on Vermeer in Mass Effect 1. Depending on your actions, Rex can end up backing down or wind up as a cold corpse on the beach. This one decision can also have a significant impact on the genophage cure plotline in Mass Effect 3. Now, it's possible that some of the decisions we make in Andromeda may have some future consequences that we haven't seen yet, but at the time, the game definitely fell short of the original trilogy when it came to making big story choices. Mass Effect Andromeda also suffered from the Dragon Age Inquisition effect by introducing copious amounts of lackluster open-world content. The side quests and activities were criticized for their generic nature and lack of impact on the overall story. Things like
I wouldn't say the world looks generic. I think the worlds are, some of them are less, how should I say, less fun than other ones, and some of them are less boring than other ones. I think the worlds are really cool. Like the Navarre is beautiful. Eos is actually semi kind of fun to explore because, let's be honest here, deserts fucking sucks. Even in Dragon Age Inquisition, yeah, even the what was it called, like Western Approach or something, still like not really fun to explore compared to like say Halam Shiral, I think it was called, the forest surrounding it, the city or ruins. But Mass Effect, there's some maps are really beautiful and really cool, and you just can imagine, like, what if you could explore entire planets like this?
pointless collectibles and generic fetch and kill quests with no narrative weight. It was a huge step back from the loyalty missions in Mass Effect 2. While it is fun to land on and explore different planets throughout the galaxy, this novelty wears off when you realize how boring the quests are. It's worth noting that despite the negative reception, some players still enjoyed Mass Effect Andromeda and appreciated certain aspects of the game, such as the combat mechanics and exploration. However, the positive aspects of Andromeda were not enough to salvage its reputation. While I enjoy Mass Effect Andromeda as a decently fun game in a spacefaring science fiction universe, I can't help but wonder what this game could have been if BioWare were still making classics like they did in their heyday. I can only hope that the studio recaptures that Mass Effect magic in the upcoming sequel whenever it eventually releases. So there you have it. Why people hate Mass Effect Andromeda. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming.
Indeed, go and sub to this guy. That was a good video, granted. Yeah, Mass Effect Andromeda. Currently, when I'm playing it, I have so much fun exploring and having the combat and driving the Nomad. It's so fun with that, but the rest, especially the story and the character customization and the I would say like this: Mass Effect Andromeda is a good game, at least a 6 out of 10. It's above average game. Yes, it's a good game in sort of way, but it's so far behind compared to Mass Effect 1 even. And even Dragon Age Inquisition that came out, I think it was like 5 years before Mass Effect Andromeda. Even Dragon Age Inquisition, I think it's at least an 8 out of 10 video game, Inquisition, but it's so weird how they made a really good, really awesome game as Inquisition, and then failed so hard with Mass Effect Andromeda. I pray, because a lot of the things we have seen in Mass Effect Andromeda, especially during the development, we are also seeing that in Dragon Age Red Wolf, and I am so worried that they are going to screw up Dragon Age Red Wolf. Please, BioWare, if there's a little bit about your soul that existed during the Mass Effect franchise, please come back. Like, oh my god. I know BioWare, the current day BioWare is not 2010 BioWare. A lot of the veterans of these video games, like Mass Effect and Dragon Age, have left the BioWare and gone their own paths and or seek a job in other game studios. I really hope. It actually hurt my heart to tell this. If they fuck up Dreadwolf, I'm done. I'm no longer going to play any more BioWare games. I'm sorry. I will cut my connection. Even the new Mass Effect, it's not going to appeal to me. Anyway, that's all for this day. Go, as I said, go and sub to this guy. It was a good video. He made a lot of points that we had even back in the days, and currently a little bit on the stage of Mass Effect. And also, it's important to bring forth these sort of things, because it needs to be told to the newer generation of gamers, that sort of thing. Like, guys, keep your eyes open for this sort of thing. So yeah, see you all later.